and you're muted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Townsend 505. My name's Nick. Welcome to the channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're a lovely viewer. Today, me and Tyler, Scott from Sound Lab Studios, roommate. I've been talking to him a lot lately through because of the Led Zeppelin reviews he's been joining with, and we're gonna be going through his favorite band's discography. AC/DC. I feel like I needed to cover AC/DC at some point on my channel. Get a little variety, and I found a great person to do a series with on it. Tyler, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. And you?
I am doing great. I feel like this was always a band that I felt like I needed to give a full proper listen to, and this is a great time to do so. You have any background information you want to cover before we begin?
Yes, so AC/DC was formed in November of 1973 by Malcolm and Angus Young, of course. They recruited a bass player named Larry Van Crete, drummer Colin Burgess, and frontman and vocalist Dave Evans. They got their first gig New Year's Eve in 1973, and they made only one single with this lineup. Can I Sit Next to You, Girl was the single, and then they backed it with a song called Rockin' in the Parlor. Now, this is the only release with their original frontman, Dave Evans. He would later be so the first to go were the bassist and the drummer. They would recruit a new bassist named Rob Bailey and a new drummer named Peter Clack. And then September or October, I forget which, they end up firing Dave Evans and hiring Bon Scott. Now, Bon, Angus, and Malcolm are Scottish by birth, who emigrated to Australia. So they had some connection there. So they made their first album in 1975 called High Voltage. So this is the album cover. And it has two songs on it that we'll be covering today. So the track listing, we got Baby Please Don't Go, which is a cover. She's Got Balls, Little Lover, Stick Around, Soul Stripper, You Ain't Got a Hold on Me, Love Song, and Show Business. So that was their first album. Then they recorded Peter Clack and Rob Bailey left the band, and they recruited Mark Evans on bass and Phil Rudd on drums. And then they recorded their next Australian-only album, TNT, which has a more familiar track listing on it. And then they would sign, so all their stuff in Australia and New Zealand would be distributed by Albert Productions. And then they would later sign with Atlantic Records to promote their album, to distribute their album internationally. So this is their first international album, which we'll be covering, called, of course, High Voltage, which has more in common with TNT than High Voltage. Everyone really knows this album cover here. We got Angus with a lightning bolt, and they took two songs off of TNT and put in two songs from High Voltage to make this album. The next couple albums, we have this lineup: Bon Scott, Angus Young, Malcolm Young, Mark Evans, and Phil Rudd. This will be the lineup for a couple of albums.
Yeah.
All of these albums, this album is produced by Harry Vanda and George Young from Vanda and Young Productions. George Young is, of course, Malcolm and Angus's older brother. He and Harry Vanda were in a band called the Easy Beats in the 60s. That's how they knew each other. The band fell apart, but they stayed together and were a production company. that produced a lot of some of AC/DC's albums.
Nice. Wow, Nick reviewing AC/DC. I never thought the day would come.
What's up,
Yes,
Ryder?
I figured, hey, I went through all of Taylor Swift's albums. I feel like it would be fair to go through AC/DC albums. I feel like that would be fair. Before we begin, you have any thoughts on the album cover?
I really like this album cover. I think it's pretty straightforward. We got Angus and we got Lightning. Pretty appropriate album cover for this album.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I discovered this band in 2020. Well, I always knew about them because of things like Back in Black. I heard them in Iron Man, and some of the movies had their songs. But it was really their most recent album that I really started to get into them, Power Up. And so now I have all their albums. Nice. And we'll start from the beginning. Yes,
in the beginning. My thoughts on AC/DC and the album is this is a really good debut album. It surprised me. It really did. I thought I was only gonna like a couple of songs on it, but this album surprised me a whole lot. I will say the only albums I really knew going into this was Dirty Deeds, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, and For Those About to Rock. Those are the only ones I was familiar with. I was more familiar. I was familiar with some of the Australian stuff, but yeah, this album really surprised me. I haven't heard this album in a long time, so I'm excited to cover this album. How about you, Tyler? You have any brief thoughts?
This is full of classics. The Jack, TNT, High Voltage. These songs on here are all sung at concerts, concert staples. They're very popular songs, and this is a really good album. I really enjoy this album.
Yeah,
very solid debut album.
We open up the album with "It's a Long Way to the Top."
Oh my goodness. This is quite a way to introduce yourself to an international audience. And it's kind of like people associate this song a lot with just Bon Scott and his kind of rise through, because he had been a musician before. He was in a couple bands. And he got made big with this band. They actually weren't that big until Highway to Hell. Kind of around that time when they started really getting famous. But this song is really cool. The lyrics are great. I think it's the only song I could think of that has bagpipes in a rock song. They decided to add it just because, because 3 of the members are Scottish by descent. And Bon Scott was in a bagpipe band, but he never played the bagpipes. So I had to learn how to play the bagpipes, which I think is really funny. So, they have a really cool music video for this. They're on a bed of there's a truck, and there's a bed, and they're playing the song on this platform as they're being driven up the street. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this song?
I love this song. This song is such a great opener.
It's amazing.
I love this song. This is one of my 5 favorite. This is in my top 5 easily.
For sure.
It's a song that really introduces the band well.
Yes.
It's interesting. I'm looking through the Australian track listing. Is that the first album is also High Voltage, the Australian album, but High Voltage isn't even on the High Voltage album.
Add another one to a list of albums where the title track is not there.
Yes, if we're going through the Australian, yeah, but they got it right with the US.
Yes.
This song is awesome. It's so unique. It's so different. When people say AC/DC doesn't change, they're very unadventurous. Listen to this song because that proves everyone wrong. So the song is awesome.
There was a funny interview that Angus had. I think they were releasing It's like I think it was like 2000 something where they're releasing one of their albums, and he's like, "What do you say to the critics who say you release the same album 11 times?" And he's like, "We have not done that. We've released the same album 12 times." I think it's really funny.
That was funny. But yeah, to all the haters out there, this just proves that they are very like no. Like, can you think of any other rock band at this time that were using bagpipes in a song? I don't think so.
No,
Um, Track two is rock and roll singer.
I think this is a pretty good deep cut on this track. Rock Roll Singer is really fun. Uh, I think this a lot of these songs have the theme of like being in the rock and roll lifestyle. This is like kind of like rock and roll rocker origins or something like that. Where it's like, oh, I knew what I was gonna be when I wanted to grow up, and I wanted to be famous, and I wanted to sing on stage and whatnot. It's a really fun song. There's a real big, nice deep cut on this song for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. This is a really good deep cut on the album. This is very underrated. I agree with you. This is a really strong song on the album. I think it works really well as the follow up track. But yeah, I agree. This didn't make my top five though. It barely didn't make my top five, but I still think this is a really good song. I would probably put this at like 6. Next song on the album, "The Jack."
The Jack, yes. This is their big bluesy track. It's too long and it's too bluesy.
That's Jason's
Now,
catchphrase.
yes, it is. This song is funny because it actually has 2 sets of lyrics. Bon Scott originally wrote a set of lyrics for this album, for this song, but they were really I think their man, Vanda and Young were like, "Hey, you got to tone the lyrics down. They're too X-rated for the album." And so I made it about a card game when it's really about getting gonorrhea from a one night stand.
That's
So
hilarious.
on the album, it's about a card game. Whenever they play it live, they sing the original lyrics. So this is also always played, and they have a cool during a bit in the song. The singer also always does like a call and response. They have the audience sing the chorus. Cool call and response thing going on with that, and I think it's nice little audience interaction.
I think this song is okay. This is my least favorite on the album. Um, I think the backstory is better than the song itself, but I think this is pretty good. I don't think the album's gonna be affected badly because of it, but yeah, this is my least favorite on the album. It's okay compared to the other songs.
Sure.
Side one ends off on Live Wire.
Oh yes, I love Livewire. Such a great slow burn open with a bass, starting off with a bass line and then slowly creeping up with the guitar, and then the drums come in and just the song just explodes and it starts. Great riff too, something like that. Yeah, it's another fun song. I think Bon Scott's really great as a vocalist. I think the little guitar breakdown, and then the guitar solo is great. I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed this. This is one of the best songs on their album, for sure.
I agree. This is a great song on the album. This made my top 5. This song is awesome. Um, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, but this is another rocking song. Yeah, they're 3 for 4 so far. This out on side one, it's just like, oh man, like if I didn't own this album already, I would definitely own it. I would definitely want to seek it out at some point. But thankfully,
Yeah.
I own it now. This is a great album. Side one closer.
Oh yeah, it's a
Side
great side closer, and
yes.
they would actually open their concerts with this song.
Oh,
Kind of
that's
start their
cool.
concert with the slow burn intro. It was really fun.
That's cool. Um, side Side 2 opens up with TNT.
Oh yes, TNT. That's a big iconic song from them. Song that they always play. Got the oi 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 going on in there. TNT. This is just a catchy song. Man, oh my goodness. ACDC. I think it was released as a single, if I'm not mistaken. ACDC never really did well with singles. They never had a number one or a number two for that matter. They weren't even in the top 10. All the when we get to a certain album, they have a single on there that went to number 23, and that's the highest they ever got with singles.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. That is crazy. That's nuts.
They use their singles mostly just to promote their album. Their albums were very popular, but their singles, they never had really any good charting singles.
That's nuts. I would definitely. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you would definitely think that they would have a big hit singles, but no.
You would think Highway to Hell and Back in Black would be number one hits.
No. Yeah, but TNT is amazing. The song is one of the best songs I've ever done. It's great. It's iconic. Again, another life staple they always play at concerts. It's good stuff.
I certainly agree. The song is amazing. It's very catchy. It's to the point. I think it's awesome. This is definitely deserving to be a number one hit. I do not get why it wasn't. If it was released as a single, it's a mystery. Yep. Just like the Fleetwood Mac album would say, still a mystery to me.
Yes.
Next song on the album, Can I Sit Next to You?
Yes, the first song ever done by AC/DC. Re-recorded with Bon Scott, and a little bit longer than the original Dave Evans recording. I think the song's pretty good. Very straight to the point. Simple little song about meeting a girl and asking her if she can sit down next to her. It's pretty fun. I enjoy this song. I think it gets a little bit too repetitive toward the end, but it's just a nitpick. I think the song's pretty good.
I really love this. Really love this song. This is in my top 5. It's very catchy. I actually really love this song. When I first heard the song a while ago, I thought it was just okay, but re-listening to it for the sound review, I now love it. It's now one of my favorites from them, period. I love this song. It's a
great song. So before we move on, they did release 3 singles for this album. It's A Long Way to the Top, TNT, and High Voltage were the singles used for this album. But like before, never really gained any traction with the singles, which is very weird to me.
I agree with you. It's really odd. Next song on the album, Little Lover.
Yeah, this is the part where I don't really like this song that much. Again, this is a song from their first album, and I don't know why they put this song, because it's definitely not the best song on this album. I would have put Soul Stripper on this album instead of Little Lover. I don't know. I never really clicked this song. I don't really care for it.
That's fair.
I think this is written by the young Malcolm and Angus. Not one of their best songs, in my opinion.
That's fair. I actually really enjoyed the song. I think the song is really strong. This actually did make my top 5. Surprisingly, this did make my top 5. I personally really enjoy it, but I get where you're coming from, though. But me personally, I really enjoyed it. Next song on the album, it's a song called "She's Got Balls."
She's got balls. Yeah, kind of a joke then, but certainly something that could happen today. Anyways.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, so this is a Bon Scott song. He said he wrote this for his wife. Certainly something only Bon Scott would write. yeah, it's just this lady who's really good at what she does, and she got balls.
Yes.
Uh, yep, this is another song from the original High Voltage album, like Little Lover. So yeah, it's just a pretty good song. I enjoy.
I really enjoy this song. I feel like I need to re-listen to the High Voltage album, the Australian version, because I enjoyed the two songs from the album.
It's got some bangers.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a really good song. I really like this song. Didn't make my top five, but man, this song has balls, just like the person he's
Yep,
referring to.
it does. It does.
Last song on the album, we actually get the title track, unlike the Australian version.
Yay!
High Voltage.
High Voltage. This is my favorite song on the album. I really enjoy this song. Again, this is another single for this album and a big concert staple that's sung at all the concerts. And just like the Jack, it's got a nice little fun call and response with the audience. They do with this song as well. Yeah, oh my goodness, the song is so catchy. It's got a great riff. The lyrics are fun, just high voltage rock and roll. It's just kind of like what they're about. I think it's a great song to end the album on. Very great album closer. Yeah, the riff is great. I think the lyrics are great. Bon Scott is a great, amazing vocalist. And this is a really fun song. It's my favorite song on the album. Yeah, fun times.
Which vocalist do you prefer in the AC/DC? Do you prefer Bon Scott?
I like both, but I prefer Mr. Johnson. But
Fair
I do
enough.
love both of them.
I always preferred Bon Scott, but I could get where you're coming from. He definitely he sung a lot of their iconic songs, so I get where you're coming from. I wish Bon Scott sung the songs on Back in Black. I felt like that would be an album I would enjoy more if he sung on it. But again, I get where the love comes from. There are some lead vocalists. I'm like, how do people like this? But AC/DC, I totally get. Like, I said this a lot, but I think Donald Fagen from Steely Dan's the worst.
Yeah.
I do not like his voice. His voice is too. It's like if Bob Dylan tried doing jazz music, but like to me, I've never been.
What'd you think of the song?
Oh, sorry. I love this song. Again, this didn't make my top five. I know you're like, how can that not make your top five? But Little Lover did. But I love this song though. Don't worry, my score on this album is going to make up for that.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a fantastic closer. Probably their best closer, I'd say they've had. If we're going by the U.S. releases. Going by the Australian releases, I'd say Dirty Deeds had the better closer.
Yes. Yes.
What is your top five?
All right, my top five. Number five, I'm looking at this here. Number five is going to be the Jack. And then number four is going to be Livewire. Number three is going to be It's a Long Way to the Top. Number two, TNT. And number one, High Voltage.
Okay. We share three out of those five songs. I'd say, let's say my honorable mentions. I'm going to say High Voltage. She's Got Balls. And Rock and Roll Singer. Those are three strong honorable mentions. And like I said, my least favorite's the Jack. My number five is going to be Little Lover. My number four is going to be Live Wire. Number three, TNT. Number two, It's a Long Way to the Top. And my favorite song on the album, Can I Sit Next to You, Girl?
Nice. Nice. Yeah, if I would do an honorable mention, I'd probably have to do Rock and Roll Singer as well. And Can I Sit Next to You, Girl is my honorable mention.
Cool.
And
yeah, I'd say my top three, I'd say.
My least favorite is Little Lover.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. My number 5 is your least favorite, and your number 5 is my least favorite. That's just weird coincidence. Uh, I'm gonna say my top 3 on the songs could interchange. Like TNT could be my favorite any day. Uh, my top 3 is so good. I like those 3 songs. I'm gonna be making a playlist on Spotify soon of ACDC songs that I want to actively go back to a lot. And my top 3 on this album are songs that I'm going to be going back to a lot.
Nice.
What do you score this album from 1 through 10?
Uh, what did I do? I gave it. I gave this. I think I gave this like an. I wrote it down. Hold on. I gotta pull it up. I forgot when I wrote it. Or I forgot what I wrote down. Hold on a second. Oh, where should it go? I wrote it down. I gave it an 8.5.
8.5. Well, it's weird because they're your favorite band, but I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This album is so good. I enjoyed everything off this album, and you got 3 songs that are just absolutely fantastic, like top tier ACDC.
Oh yes.
So even though the Jack's my least favorite on the album, I was close to giving it a 9.75 out of 10 just for that song. But I'm like, you know what? You got like 5 really good songs, 3 absolute bangers, and then you got just the 1 okay song. So I feel like 10 out of 10's my score. I feel like that's fair.
Fair. I either go between 8.5 or 8.75 on this album. I go either way.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. Me and Brian are going to be doing we're going to be doing a Black Sabbath review right after this video, so prepare to see that. Thank you for joining me, Tyler. This is his first time on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So long.